Bande Purushottam. Good afternoon to all of you. I hope, my dear students, my dear learners, my dear readers, I hope it's my expectation you all are fine and well with your family members. Actually, the dreadful corona, the dangerous corona virus has put us in a situation which is considered to be very despair situation for all the human world. But I pray to God, I pray to the Almighty, you all are fine with your family members. And first, I would like to especially pray to God because in Odia language there is a proverb, Prathana kebe prutha jana. I take especially Odia language because it's very badhiya among other languages. Actually, the main purpose of my especially taking this video class is nothing never but something ever, because I am very excited to share my knowledge, because in English language there is a proverb, knowledge, when knowledge is shared, it is squared. I would like to discuss three major phenomenal concepts. One is about English language, second one about the characteristics of English language, then all about the first poem Daffodils by William Wordsworth. But first I would like to discuss something about English language. My dear viewers, I think you are all excited to learn English language, to speak English language fluently, but it is very difficult task for many of you to speak English correctly and fluently because of some problems are there, because you cannot put right vocabulary in right time to share your experience, to share your emotion, to share your idea, to share your emotion, sentiment, idea, experience to with other people. But here, actually, I have come to you with the very easy concept of English language, because whenever you will know all about the system, you can speak English very well. First, I would like to speak something about language. All of you know language helps us to communicate, to cooperate, to interact with each other. So it's a social event. Why we call language a social event? Because we live in society, so that whenever we want to communicate, whenever we want to transfer our cultural values to other people, then we take the help of language. So that's why language is a social event. It plays a very vital role for our communication world. Now, I would like to speak something about the major characteristics of English language. Why English language is spoken all over the world as a major language. Nowadays, you can find in 196 countries people speak English because of five major characteristics. One is uniqueness of English language. Second one, the productivity. Third one, accessibility. Fourth one, ability. Fifth one, capability. Actually, you can find in English language the uniqueness, like every language consists the combination of S O V, but English language consists the combination S V O. S stands for subject, V stands for verb, O stands for object. That means the uniqueness of English language is especially very different from other language, so that people speak English all over the world. Then productivity, you can find many words from many scriptures, like from Greek, French, Latin, Spanish. Many words are there you can find from other languages, so that's why English language is the most productivity language, is the most unique language of the world. So that's why in 196 countries people speak English as the best and foremost language. Then you can find nowadays, you can find many words like psychology, sword, police. Many words are there, vanilla. Many words are there. They actually have come from other languages. It is the one and only language which is English. It can accept other words from other language, but it is not possible in other language. Then I would like to speak something about the major systems of English language, my dear viewers. One is psychological, one is phonological system, second one is grammatical system. Then in grammatical system, first the question will arise to your mind, what actually we mean by grammar. Generally, grammar is a lesson which helps an individual to speak, read and write a language fluently and correctly. Then about phonological system, it is all about the technical system, it is all about the technical operation of English language. But the most important, the vital concept for the students, for a learner of English language, is the most important aspect is grammatical system, because grammar is a lesson. It is very important. In grammatical system you can find tense and time, revision of modal auxiliary, then sentence clauses, then all about the conditional clauses, active and passive, phrasal verb, everything you can find in grammatical system. Then I would like to speak something about what actually the most important parts of speech are there, like you can find noun, verb, pronoun, adjective, adverb, conjunction, interjection. Parts of speech plays a very vital role in English grammatical system. But my purpose is especially to introduce, to speak something about the poem, the classic, the mega poem Daffodils by William Wordsworth. Actually, in English language, you can find the most important concept is listening. If you are a good listener, then you can speak English very well. And finally, here I am especially to introduce, to speak something about the poem Daffodils by William Wordsworth. But before discussing about the poem, I would like to speak something about the most renowned, the most romantic poet of English literature. He is none other than one and only William Wordsworth. But before discussing about Daffodils and William Wordsworth, now I would like to speak something about like literature and figures of speech. Actually, in Daffodils, William Wordsworth has taken the help of figures of speech. Finally, readers, here you can find in literature, especially literature is something, it encompasses what actually we read, what actually we hear, what actually we understand, what actually we speak. It is known as literature. It's a very broad, vast era. Like one individual cannot speak something about properly literature. It's something vast. Actually, literature is classified according to the category. One is fiction and another one is non-fiction. Finally, here what actually I want to speak, I want to share with my students, with my viewers, with my readers, especially due to the advancement, due to the, like you can find facility of smart technology, we can communicate with each other. But Corona has put us in a despair situation, so we are not able to meet with each other inside the smart classroom. So finally, I was talking about what actually the figures of speech, why the writers use figures of speech whenever they write, whenever especially they publish a poem or something. Finally, figures of speech is especially categorized, classified like into two categories. One is especially ordinary words are used to like represent some ordinary meaning. Then you can say, then you can put on your own account. It is all about simile, metaphor, hyperbole. Then for ordinary arrangements, the words which are written, especially alliteration, ellipses, antithesis, these are the figures of speech. Then we'll discuss one by one what actually we mean by simile, what actually we mean by metaphor, what actually we mean by hyperbole, what actually we mean by alliteration. One by one we will discuss. But finally, here I want to give the brief introduction about the one and only, the most renowned romantic poet of English literature. He is none other than one and only William Wordsworth. Finally, Daffodils is a very classic poem. Daffodils is one of the most classic poem in English literature by William Wordsworth. So whenever actually I want to speak something about William Wordsworth. Actually, William Wordsworth first introduced the Romantic era in English literature. Whenever it was all about 1843, then he and his best friend, Taylor Coleridge, then both of them launched the Romantic era in English literature. And from 1843 to 1850, like it's all about 7 years in London society, he became the poet laureate in English literature. And both of them, they were famous for lyrical ballads. Now in Daffodils, you can find William Wordsworth wants to convey the idea. Actually, three major resources are there to write a very successful poem, to write a very classic poem. Finally, many things are there whenever the writer write a poem, especially to convey the idea. It is maybe all about the immense love and affection of a beloved mother, then all about the wonders of nature, then all about especially the beauty of nature, then all about a romantic era, like you can find the romance, murder, killing, all about powerful imagination, then all about the state of solitude. It may be about the revolution, it may be about the grievances, difficulties of poor people or miserable condition of elder people. Finally, why I would like to speak something about literature. In literature, you can find two categories are there. One is fiction, another one is non-fiction. Then the readers should be aware about drama, prose, poetry, non-fiction, like notification and media. But here I want to discuss the first poem Daffodils by William Wordsworth, because poetry is the oldest form of writing, or especially writing form in literature. Poetry is something, whenever William Wordsworth defined poetry, like he seemed to convey the idea poetry is the spontaneous overflow of a powerful feeling or imagination which like rises in the state of tranquility. Finally, whenever he became very famous in London society, then I would like to speak something about the contribution of William Wordsworth. Then not only he is very famous for Daffodils, another contributions, another poems are such as like We Are Seven, Daffodils, London, Westminster Bridge, then the Tables Turned, then the world is much with us, then these are the classic contribution of William Wordsworth. Now I want to speak something about especially the poem by William Wordsworth. It's Daffodil by William Wordsworth. Actually, daffodils is a kind of beautiful flower which is seen in Great Britain from April to June, and it is very famous for its magnificent, for its dashing color, for its golden color in London society. Like in Indian civilization, you can find lotus is the most holiest flower in India. Like lotus, our civilization, our culture, our traditional value is the most holiest one. So, like lotus in Western civilization, in London society, daffodils is the most beautiful and gorgeous flower, you can say, you can take on your own account. Now, especially, I will discuss the stanza one by one. Finally, like William Wordsworth has taken the help of certain figures of speech in the poem for the success of the poetry. Finally, what actually the works, why the writers use figures of speech in poetry or in literature, because you can find figures of speech only are used like simile, metaphor, hyperbole, alliteration, ellipsis, whatever you can say, whatever you can take on your own account, it is only used to bring out the attention, to capture the emotion of the readers. And the second phenomenal concept about figures of speech is especially it creates, it makes the language more surprising, more colorful, more complex. It brings out the attention, it brings the emotion of the reader, so that they should bound to read the poet, they should aware, they should show their curiosity to know all about the poem, what actually it is. Finally, William Wordsworth has used simile, metaphor, hyperbole one by one, stanza after stanza for the success of the poem to bring out the attention of the reader in Daffodils. I would like to speak something about simile and metaphor. What actually the basic difference between the two figures of speech? Actually, simile is a figure of speech which is used to make a comparison between two dissimilar objects, taking the help of the adverb as, like as. Like I can give the example. Finally, like they fought like cats and dogs. And you can say finally here it is simile. But what actually metaphor? Metaphor is a figure speech which is used to make a comparison to describe two different, two dissimilar objects. Like I can say without taking the help of as like as. I'm just giving the example. What actually, whenever it was all about for simile, they fought like cats dogs, but in the case of metaphor it is raining cats dogs. That means there is no chance of use the adverb like as. So it is all about metaphor. But what actually we mean by hyperbole? Hyperbole means it is all about the exaggeration, it is all about the dramatization of the expression to bring out the attention of the reader, so that the reader should think about what actually it is. Like it is is it surprising, is it complex in nature, is it colorful in nature? That means I can give the example in daffodils. You can find the poet talks about I saw 10,000 daffodils in my first observation, on my first attempt. So here you can find it is all about the example of hyperbole. Then now I want to discuss about the first stanza, what actually the poem is all about. In the very beginning of the poet talks about, like William Wordsworth talks about, he is the central character or central protagonist of the poem. In first stanza, the poet talks about I wandered lonely as a cloud on high over vales and hills. Suddenly I saw a crowd a host of golden daffodils beside the lake and beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. I am just giving the brief explanation of the stanza. In the very beginning, the poet talks about one day the poet was wandering from here to there in English countryside on high over valleys and hills. Here you can find the poet talks about I means William Wordsworth. He was like wandering, he was moving aimlessly from here to there, having without any particular aim. Then while wandering, while moving aimlessly in English countryside means English rural area, you can find mountain, fountain, lovely, dense, deep woods are there. So while moving from here to there aimlessly in English countryside, then he talks about, he has used the like figures of speech simile. That means he was wandering like a lonely cloud on high over valleys and hills. Suddenly he saw unlimited, uncountable blooming, charming daffodils. Then he talks about I saw the blooming, charming, dancing daffodils. They were situated beside the lake and under the trees. Here you can find two new words are there. One is over, O, like you can find it is written in the poetic form of OVER. Then all about wandering. Wandering means like moving from here to there aimlessly, having without any particular aim. Then you can find another new word. Beneath means under. That means the poet talks about the golden, the charming, blooming, unlimited daffodils were situated beside the lake and under the tree. Then he talks about fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Breeze means cold wind. That means due to the whispering sound of the wind, the daffodils were like moving backward to forward. They were dancing due to the cold breeze. That means the first stanza, what actually the summary. One day William Wordsworth was very upset, lonely, in the state of solitude. He was moving from here to there. Whenever or while he was wandering, moving from here to there in English countryside on high over valleys and hills, suddenly he saw a host of a group of golden daffodils. Then after this he talks about like whenever he was wandering, he saw the golden daffodils like under the trees and beside the lake there was a lake, and in English countryside he saw the daffodils. Then he talks about due to the whispering sound of the wind, the daffodils were dancing, the daffodils were moving backward to forward. This is all about the central idea summary of the first stanza. Actually, you can find. I am just you would like to talk about the mega poem by Robert Lee Frost, "Stopping by Woods on a Snow Evening." In "Stopping by Woods on a Snow Evening," you can find the poet talks about whenever I was very sincere, whenever I was very sensible about my destination, about my city to complete my day-to-day work, unexpectedly, suddenly I saw a dense, lovely, dark woods on my way to the destination. Then he stopped his journey. Then he stopped there. He enjoyed the beauty of woods. He was fascinated by the dense, lovely, dark woods. He wasted a lot of time. Then he became realistic because he was very romantic. Finally, whenever he especially saw the beauty of words, he had forgotten all about the responsibility. Then in the last stanza, you can find he talks about, no doubt the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. That means there is a connection between the two poems. That means in Stopping by Woods, Robert Lee Frost was fascinated by the beauty of lovely, dense, dark woods unexpectedly. Like Robert Lee Frost, William Wordsworth was also fascinated, attracted by the beauty of charming, blooming, dancing daffodils in English countryside while he was moving aimlessly, while he was wandering aimlessly from here to there in English countryside. Then suddenly he saw a host of golden daffodils. Host of means a group of unlimited, uncountable, charming golden daffodils are there. Then he talks about the situation of these golden daffodils. They were situated, they were located beside the lake and under the trees. And finally they were fluttering, means moving backward to forward, especially due to cold breeze. Then in second stanza you can find he talks about continuous as the stars they shine on the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw eyes. 10,000 saw at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Actually, whenever he saw these unlimited, uncountable, blooming, charming daffodils, then he became very happy.
unlimited joyness was there. Then he talks about while in night time we observe in sky, you can find unlimited shining stars are there in a Milky Way. Milky Way means in a galaxy manner, in a circular way. So finally the poet talks about daffodils were situated, daffodils were located, daffodils were traced upon like in never ending line along the margin of a bay. Margin means border, bay means especially ocean. That means whenever we observe like the next part of the sea standing in one part, then it is very hard text for us to recognize the end part of the sea. So that you can find whenever he was enjoying the beauty of charming blooming dancing daffodils in English countryside, the thought, the idea came to his mind. That means unlimited daffodils are there, uncountable blooming daffodils are there. They means the blooming daffodils, the charming daffodils were stretched open in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. And then finally talks about 10,000 I saw at a glance. That means on my first attempt, he has used the figure of speech hyperbole only to bring out the attention of the students. That means on my first attempt, I saw 10,000 daffodils. Then tossing their heads in sprightly dance. That means due to the whispering sound of the cold wind or cold breeze, the top part of the daffodils were making contact with each other and they were dancing lively. Finally, my dear viewers, my dear readers, it's all about my first video in COVID-19. I hope you all are fine with your family member, and I pray to God bless you with His love that makes a joy to live. Now, time for me, especially before watching this video, please like my channel and especially ring the icon bell for more update video. And in the very next class, I will come especially to know more about grammatical system, because grammar is a lesson which helps a person to read, write and speak a language fluently. In grammatical system you can find many things are there: subject, verb, agreement, modal, auxiliary, phrasal, verb, conditional clause, active and passive, tense and time, sentence, clauses, everything you can find in grammatical system. In the very next class especially I will especially cover the exact what actually the poem is all about by William Wordsworth. Actually, William Wordsworth is the one of the most famous romantic poet of English literature. It is all about the first and second stanza. In the very next video, I will discuss the third stanza. Thank you. Have a good day.